Good afternoon, everyone. Right now, Chatham County Emergency Services set to give an update about the impact of Tropical Storm Debbie really had on our area. The county and the surrounding area seeing wide-scale flooding, down trees, and other issues. Let's listen in as the Chatham County Board Chairman of the Commissioners giving an address.
For the day, all right, there will be no more curfew, but there are some areas that were hit harder than others, and so we're going to identify those areas, and because we have crews working in there, because we have to have equipment in there, we will ask the general public to avoid those areas and avoid interfering with the work that must be done to recuperate from the storm. We have everyone here from the state level all the way down to speak to us. And so at this time, I'm going to call on the Director of SEMA, who's going to give us the general updates and the mandates, and then we'll go from there. Dennis?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I do want to reiterate the Chairman's direction that we are not having a curfew tonight. The atmospheric conditions are such that we feel that it's not warranted. But if at any time we feel that there are areas that need to be warned off, we will certainly do that through our law enforcement entities. As the Chairman mentioned, there are several areas throughout the community that have sustained flooding, have had water encroachments into communities, and we want to make sure that we are advertising at least some of those high-profile areas to try and keep citizens away from those areas so we can make sure that we are maximizing our response efforts. In the unincorporated areas of Chatham County, we got Wilmington Island Road. The southern end of the island has water and also power lines down. On Richmond Drive, we want to try and stay clear of that. There are some trees down, some power lines down on Tulahee Island, and also Greenview and Southbridge is flooded out. So we will have emergency response crews responding to those areas, as well as other areas that become identified to make sure that we are maximizing our response efforts. We do have 3 municipalities with us today that are going to talk about the areas in their municipalities, and I will defer those areas to them as they get up here. We are currently under a tropical storm warning, a flash flood warning, and also a flood watch. We currently have 3 shelters activated within Chatham County. One is at Tompkins. It currently has 32 clients in it. One at Civic Center has 66 clients. And fortunately, we do have the in-market arena, but we don't have anyone sheltered at the in-market arena at this time. So we're thankful for that. So we will remain operational in our Emergency Operations Center as long as we are under a tropical storm warning. Most likely it will be dropped at some point, hopefully overnight, or they may downgrade us to a tropical storm watch. But as long as we are under a threat from Debbie, we will certainly keep the Emergency Operations Center activated so we can respond to any issues that come about throughout the county. So I would like to invite up Congressman Carter for some statements from his office.
Well, thank you, Dennis, and thank all of you for being here. Let me begin by just complimenting and applauding all of the emergency personnel throughout the 1st Congressional District, but particularly today here in Chatham County. What you've seen here is an exercise in cooperation and coordination, and it's really been a case study in how things should be done. And I can't speak highly enough of the great job that they've done. All the agencies pulling together, working together in synchrony, and making sure that everyone is on the same page. That is so vitally important in situations like this. I want to encourage everyone, we need to stay vigilant. As Dennis told you, we still have some flash flooding out there. We still have some warnings that are out. It's very important. I also want to point out that we are early in the season, in the hurricane season. This is probably not the last storm we're going to have this year. So we need to keep that in mind as well. But we are not out of the woods yet. So let's make sure that we follow the instructions that are being given to us. There's information that you get on our website that will give you information that can be useful. buddycarter.house.gov/hurricanes. That's information that you'll be able to use. Yesterday, I led a delegation letter, a bipartisan letter from our Georgia delegation to the White House, asking the president to honor the request of Georgia Governor Brian Kemp to have our area named an emergency declaration imposed here. That was approved last night by the president. We're glad of that. That's going to be very important in the cleanup, making sure that we have disaster efforts and cleanup efforts here in our district. I encourage all of you, whatever you may need, please make sure that you go to our website, again, buddycarter.house.gov/hurricanes. There'll be information there, or you're welcome to call our office. Our office number here in Savannah, 912-352-0101. Our office number in Brunswick, 912-265-0910. We'll be glad to help you in any way we can. Again, I want to thank everyone involved, particularly Chatham EMA, for the great job that they've done in coordinating and making sure that everyone is on the same page here. They have literally saved lives and saved property as a result of their great work. And I always tell people, in the 1st District of Georgia, we got the best of the best right here. This is not our first rodeo. We've been through this before. And you can tell by the coordination, by the cooperation. So thank you. And again, let's don't let our guard down. Let's stay vigilant.
Thank you, Congressman Carter. He mentioned the best of the best, and with that, I'd like to introduce our GEMA partner, our Georgia Emergency Management Agency representatives. We have been in lockstep with GEMA since Saturday, early Saturday morning, and they've actually had a staff member embedded in our Emergency Operations Center since Sunday, and we are extremely thankful for the support of the Georgia Emergency Management Agency. With that, we do have Deputy Director Mr. Sexton. He's going to offer a few remarks.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mark Sexton, one of the Deputy Directors at Georgia Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency. Just want to express our appreciation for the coordination. Our job is to basically synchronize intergovernmental agencies at the state level and bring federal resources down to the county level. And we've been able to successfully do that. Congressman, we appreciate the support in getting that declaration out of the President and through the Federal Emergency Management Agency. So that has turned a lot of federal resources available to us for the response work that we have going on. It's been a very successful engagement so far. We've had several staff members embedded at the county level up and down the coast and a little bit inland as well for some of those other affected counties. One of the issues with this specific event is the flooding associated with the large volumes of rain that have come down. And they've not only come down here right along the coast, but there's been a lot of inland rainfall as well. And as everybody understands, that water's got to go somewhere. So it's going to be making its way down to the coast over the next few days. Hopefully the storm will continue to track on up the coastline through the Carolinas and go away. There's still a slight chance of it coming back inland in an area that may impact more rainfall here in Savannah, but that is not likely at this point, but it is still a possibility. So we just ask everyone to maintain your vigilance. Don't let your guard down yet. But again, I appreciate the cooperation that we always have with Savannah and the Chatham County team and all the associated municipalities that are here. Y'all are always great. Everyone to maintain your vigilance. Don't let your guard down yet. But again, I appreciate the cooperation that we always have with Savannah and the Chatham County team and all the associated municipalities that are here. Y'all are always great teammates. Always welcome our staff in, and coordination that we're able to do together. Thank you very much.
Before I bring up the municipalities, I do have another note here. Just so the media is aware, 2 semi-truck tractor trailers, there was a collision at I-95 near Little Neck Road. No injuries have been reported that we are aware of right now. Pooler Police Department is handling the accident with Chatham County Police Department assisting. Traffic is being counterflowed on I-95 towards 204. So I mentioned earlier, excuse me, I mentioned earlier that we have 3 of our municipalities represented here today. I am going to invite them up to ask them to explain to you what their operational tempo is for today and tomorrow. as well as identify any particular areas which need to be isolated or avoided for the general community. So I'll invite up City of Savannah, and then Pooler, and then Port Wentworth in that order.
Thank you, Dennis, and to everyone, good afternoon. We thank God, period. Certainly, as bad as it could have been, it certainly could have been worse. We're grateful for things as they are. We received thoughts and prayers from around the nation. Yesterday, I heard from the White House that called asking about anything they could do. And obviously, they did what we asked them to do, which was to be able to approve whatever request came our way. We also were hosting the Vice President here Friday on a campaign stop. And obviously, we all agree this is just not the time to do it. That visit has been postponed. She sends her regards, and any way that she can help, she wants to do that as well. This has been absolutely a team effort, and I am grateful for the leadership of FEMA.
This was going to be a bad storm, and I'm so grateful to the dedicated members of Team Savannah and others who have put up the hours to ensure the safety of all of our residents. I joined Team Savannah, Savannah Fire, and Savannah Police as we made rescues today in the Tremont Park neighborhood, which is in the west side. These folks are experiencing severe flooding. They're experiencing some structural flooding, and this water is not going anywhere anytime soon. But I am pleased to report that these folks are okay, and we have moved some of them that wanted to go. There's no doubt these storms are getting more powerful and more. It's imperative that we remain vigilant. The City of Savannah concurs that there's no need for a curfew tonight, but if there's a barricade there, the barricade is there for a reason. And I know personally I pulled over some folk because they're trying to move the barricade. If the barricade is there, the barricade is there for people's safety. And you don't know until you get beyond it where the danger is. And so the city manager will talk a little bit more about that. We urge you to call 311 to report downed trees and flooded roadways. We have the Savannah 311 app, which is a very useful tool. We want to keep 911 clear for actual emergencies. So 311 is a very valuable service, and we ask you to use 311 if you can. And of course, Georgia Power is here about down power lines. Our crews out there, they're working. They're clearing trees, they're clearing stormwater drainage systems, they're monitoring stormwater pumps and sewer lift stations that are all up and running, and they're responding as needed to the places that they needed to the most. We're asking that you extend us some grace. It's been a long 30 hours, and some of us have been on the field all 30 hours. And so we're asking that we'll get to you, but we're not going to stop until we're finished. You can find out more information about the City of Savannah regarding this storm at savannahga.gov/Debbie, D-E-B-B-Y, savannahga.gov/Debbie, and we'll continue to update that website. I'm going to ask the city manager this time to provide operational updates regarding our operations from today for the rest of the week. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. This is Jay Melder, City Manager, City of Savannah. Good to be with you this afternoon. To echo what the mayor and the congressman, the chairman said, the storm's not over. Still need to be diligent and want to make folks aware of some geographic areas of concern within the City of Savannah, places to stay away from, places that our crews are working to bring down the water. Of course, we have elevated water levels remaining in Tremont Park neighborhood, that Mayor Johnson spoke of. We have 37 homes there that are impacted by floodwaters, 5 of which have structural flooding, but as the mayor said, we've had no injuries yet, and we've been able to serve those residents, and we're with them right now, and will continue to be throughout the event. We also have elevated water levels at White Bluff Road near Savannah Tech, Ogeechee Road just off of I-516, Magazine Avenue north of Gwinnett Street, Liberty Heights Drive, Staley Avenue between 48th and 51st Street, 42nd Street at Ogeechee Road, 51st Street at Hopkins, and the water is high and adjacent to the roadway at Eisenhower between Salymood and Truman Parkway, Staley Avenue north of Ogeechee Road, and near the intersection of Ogeechee Road and Victory Drive. I want to stress that all of our pump stations are operational. They're in the fight, and they're continuing to pump water out of the canals and into the Savannah River. But of course, we're going to take many tide cycles to get all of the water that's come down in the Savannah area, and that will continue to come into our area from rainfall that's fallen around the area for the next several days. And the thing that I want to stress, as we all know, we're saturated with water now. We're expecting several more inches over the next 12 to 24 hours, and so we want folks to remain vigilant, to stay in contact with us. Please call 311, be aware of what's happening on your street and what's happening with your neighbors, and we are going to be out in force throughout the day and throughout the night to attend to our stormwater management system, which is right now our #1 mission. For tomorrow, the City of Savannah will be operating under a modified operation schedule. Non-essential functions will be closed, but we will be expanding our essential functions, especially trying to get some of our sanitation and some of our street and debris cleared out tomorrow. Most of our other public works staff and certainly our public safety personnel, they've been working 24/7 since the event began Monday and will continue to, but please be on the lookout for more information from savannahga.gov about our operations tomorrow. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mayor Karen Williams from the great city of Pooler, and I'm here along with our interim city manager, Matt Saxon, who I'd like to start making his way over here, and our EOC representative, Rachel Brown. Thank you so much for your support. We are here to recognize and thank the fantastic job that SEMA has done under the leadership of Dennis Jones. As a new mayor, their leadership and knowledge have been invaluable to me, as well as the knowledge from our city and staff. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation to Pooler's Public Works Department, Critical Workforce, Pooler Fire Department, and Pooler Police Department for such a phenomenal job during the weather event. I am so proud of you all. Now I would like to hand this over to our interim city manager, Matt Saxon, for him to give you an operational brief and our closures. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I think City Manager Melder said it best with the areas we have flooded. Please stay away from them. I'll give you some areas in Pooler that we have that we need to ask our citizens to please stay away from. Gentry Street, Tappan Zee Street, Brighton Woods at the Grove. These are areas that are public streets that are impassable right now for the amount of water we have in them. We also have 2 private neighborhoods that also have roads that are inundated. One would be Forest Lakes Drive and one over at Savannah Quarters. So if you would, please be mindful for the neighbors that have water very close to their house. Please be mindful of how you travel through those areas for those of y'all that are going to travel in the water. Be careful not to add water into their yards where we don't need it. Once again, thank you for SEMA on the great job y'all been doing. City of Pooler, our staff is closed tomorrow. Public Works is out working. All departments are being recognized and all departments are working. So if you have any Public Works needs, feel free to give us a call at Public Works so we can handle any needs out there. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Davis. I'm the city manager in Port Wentworth. I want to echo what everybody's already said about the cooperation of this leadership team and Dennis Jones and his team at SEMA. But beyond that, obviously the staff in Public Works that have been out, all night long in the rain, working to clear the roads. I'm very happy to report that Port Wentworth, our floodgates worked perfectly. We had multiple road closures for flooding yesterday. We got 8.5 inches of rain in Port Wentworth, and all of those roads are now reopened. Georgia Power has been on the scene out there. We've got our power restored, I think 99.9%. Bonnie Bridge Road is reopened now. GDOT has cleared that. The washout sustainability is fine on that road, and all the power poles have been removed from the roadway. So In Port Wentworth, we're doing great work, and again, I really want to thank the guys that have been out on the street all night in the rain, working, keeping our roads clear, cleaning storm drains, and all of our wastewater treatment plant and our sewer system is operating fine. Lift stations have all been checked and are running properly. So thank you for having us, and I'm glad to report good news.
Thank you all. To wrap up the information updates on the remaining municipalities and other critical partners, Chatham County, I'll let Mr. Kegler define what our operational tempo is, unless you'd like me to do that.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we're going to follow suit similar to what City of Savannah is going to do. The county will be closed tomorrow. All non-essential services will not be in operation. Our essential services, mostly sanitation, public works, being able to get out on the street, clear those roads, being able to respond to those critical areas in which we need to mitigate or we need to handle the floodwaters in those areas. We'll be addressing those, as well as essential services such as police, fire. We'll make sure that we are operating those on a regular basis tomorrow. Bloomingdale, the city of Bloomingdale is going to be closed. They will likewise have essential services on the street, doing any cleanup that needs to take place. Garden City, St. Posture, they will be closed. Thunderbolt, Tybee Island will be closed as well. As the Board of Education has already mentioned, they will be closed tomorrow, and the superintendent has asked me to pass on that she is thankful for the efforts of the Command Policy Group. Her inclusion into that has been instrumental in the Board of Education's decision-making, as well as making sure that the members of the Command Policy Group are aware of what the Board of Education does so we can be informed in our decision-making as well. The Health Department is planning to be closed tomorrow as well. There is a judicial emergency that was just issued earlier today. Judge Penny Friesman has issued a judicial emergency, which will also close the courthouse for tomorrow. And CAT has suspended services for tomorrow due to the frequency and the amount of roads that are impacted throughout the area. So that is an update on all the municipalities and some other critical partners. We have mentioned several times about power. So we do have Mr. William Mott with Georgia Power here. I'd like to invite him up to talk about electricity. Mr. Mott? There you go.
Well, good afternoon. I'd like to give everyone an update on Georgia Power's outages and restoration efforts. Since Hurricane Debbie's impacts began to be felt, the company has restored power to over 100,000 customers across the state. Specifically here in Savannah, as of 3 p.m. today, we have roughly 1,400 customers that are out of power, and that represents about 112 separate events. A team of about 450 Georgia Power employees and contract resources remain in the field and are working behind the scenes here in the Savannah area, assisting with our restoration efforts. We are responding as quickly and as safely as possible to restore service. Some areas, as you heard, are inaccessible, and we are mobilizing specialized equipment that will help us reach these areas in order to perform damage assessments, as well as to begin restoration activities. We are currently anticipating to have 95% of the current outages online, power restored by midnight tonight. While restoration efforts continue, I'd like to remind you of a few safety items. Please never touch any downed or low-hanging wires. Never pull limbs off of power lines. If you see a fallen limb on a power line or a line down, please report to Georgia Power. And lastly, if you see Georgia Power crews or contract crews working on the side of the road, please slow down and pull over to allow them safe space to work in. I do want to say thank you to the wonderful cooperation Georgia Power experiences with SEMA, with our City of Savannah and Chatham County leadership. They're absolutely instrumental in helping us do what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mott. And to wrap it all up, before I turn it over to the chairman, I do want to reemphasize we will keep the Emergency Operations Center activated. It will be activated as long as we are in a tropical storm warning. If it's downgraded to a tropical storm watch, we will still remain activated in the Emergency Operations Center. In the EOC, we do have representatives from the municipalities. We've got Georgia Department of Transportation, Georgia Power's in our EOC, We got the Georgia National Guard in our EOC, so we've got a variety of different state and federal partners staffing the Emergency Operations Center with us so that we can maintain situational awareness throughout the county as well as maximize our response efforts. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the chairman for final comments.
Let me begin by ending this with letting you know that it's very rewarding to me when you plan your work and you work your plan and things come together as they have come together with this. And let me start by saying to Congressman Carter, and we have Mr. Young from Senator Warnock's office, and we have Crystal, she was here from Senator Ossoff's office. They're going to the president and getting the declaration done. And then we have to give credit to the governor, right, who was in our stead that we have stayed in constant contact with. So you had the federal, the state, and all of the locals all working together in harmony to make things better for the citizens here. And as I said from the very beginning of my administration, there's only one Chatham, all right? So it does not matter which level we're working on, we're still working on the one Chatham model where we all come together to take care of the needs of the citizens here in Chatham County. And one of the things, the unsung hero that we have not mentioned is we have Chief Taylor, all right, and some of the folks from the Sheriff Department and the invaluable role that they have played, all right, when they have had to take some of their offices to cover for the rest of us as we deal with these storms, as we deal with things that are going. And I want to echo lastly what Congressman Carter said. We've only just begun, right? Because we know we're in the midst of the hurricane season, and so we want all of the citizens of Chatham County to stay prepared, all right? This command policy group, which covers the whole county, we come together, we make decisions, and we make decisions based upon the information that we have through the EOC Center, and we keep things working so that all of our citizens are prepared. So from the Sheriff Department, from the courthouse, from all of the county staff, the city staff, and all of the municipality staff, we just thank you for what you've done and how you show that it can be done when we all come together on one accord, all right? With that, if there's any question from the media for any one of us, we'll open it up to you.
Yes, a question for Mr. Melder.